into shite hawk in one easy lesson.
Hey everyone, it's me again, and I'm gonna be doing a kind of a three-part review on three separate products that has helped me out with my flight training. Um, it's going to be hopefully a benefit to those who are just starting out like me, so you know what to get before you even sit in the plane. Um, are these items absolutely essential for your flight training? No. Do they help me out? Absolutely. Do I wish I had them from day one of my flight training? Yes, I wish I did. Um, but again, they're not essential. Like I can still fly a plane. I can still do everything I need to, just by the slow method. Um, now I went flying today, and I got to test two of them, and everything worked out good. I've been messing around with one product by driving around and testing it out that way, and got familiar with it before I took it to the plane today. There's no flight video. It was just a general practice of maneuvers, so it was not really any excitement. So the first thing, um, the, the 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 three items I'm going to be reviewing is a battery, an ADS-B in receiver, and a yoke mount. And two of these are absolutely essential. Well, basically, all three of them are essential because together they don't work without one. Like, if one of these three are missing, you're not gonna have the complete set. You're only gonna get partial. So the first thing I'm gonna demonstrate is the Sentry. This is the Sentry Mini. It's like $2.99 currently. You can go on Sporty and purchase it on there. They do have a flight video, a demonstration video on there, but they talk all about it. But I always, they're gonna sell you their grandmother. They're designed to sell you products. So the only thing this doesn't have is the carbon monoxide and the virtual thing. But as a newbie student pilot still doing the first stage one area, this is nice to have. It's again, it's not essential, but it's nice. It gives you GPS and it gives you ADS-B, so you can get live weather in. It's kind of funny at first because I noticed that there are blind spots to the ADS-B parts, like sit right next to the airport itself. Sitting right next to the airport itself. The like 20 yards away from the plane in the parking lot, sitting in my truck, the ADS-B goes off. But sitting inside of the plane, both lights are green. But if you drive around, like once you're constantly in motion on the ground, both lights are on. The signals for ADS-B are supposed to go out and up, so it was kind of interesting. And if you're worried about anyone detecting you or picking you up, like while you're trying this out to get familiar with this, try not to worry too much because, first of all, this is ADS-B in. And unless you have a transponder inside of your car, you're not sending any signals back out. So that is basically all it is. It's a one-way phone. You'd be able to hear someone, but you wouldn't be able to talk back to anyone without the transponder in your plane. So you get traffic around you, you can see the planes, and it tells you how hard they are. If they're close to you, it'll go yellow. If they go really close, they go red. It was really good today. The only thing that you gotta remember is ATC don't care if you have this in your plane. You don't need to say I see them on ADSB. Um, it's just purely for you as the pilot to increase your situational awareness, to know where they are, to help you where to look. So if ATC like today tells me there's traffic at 11 o'clock, about 1.5 mile, 11 o'clock, um, all I said to the ATC was Untitled Chapter, looking for traffic, Cherokee 037. I didn't say I see them on ADSB looking, looking for traffic. They don't care if you have ADSB in. Um, and as soon as I said that to myself, my instructor to the right was like, "Yep, absolutely, they don't care." Um, this is purely for your own personal reference. It's great to have a live weather radar in, and it's pretty good to have with you. And I do wish I had this, from start, because it's good to be knowing what's going on around you and stuff like that. You don't have ring mirrors, you don't have a rear view mirror, so this Sentry gives you a kind of a 360 of what's going on around you, because that was one of the most strangest feelings starting out playing. Is like, I got in the plane, I'm flying, I'm like, where's the wing mirrors, where's the rear view mirror, why can't I see behind me, why would you need to? But you look for traffic, you see what cars are behind you, if they're on your bumper and stuff like that. It helps you know where everyone are, so you can be in control of the situation. This is your rear view mirror, basically. What comes with it is a RAM suction mount. You put it in, and then you twist this little lever, and it goes. You twist it to the on position, and it sticks to the window. You put this into the side. You put this on the side, and then twist it until it's all the way up. There's my cat. So, unlike the $400 one, there's no battery power source. If you unplug it, unless you plug it in, there's no power. If you unplug it. Okay, so the Sentry works with your iPad or any device, and you can use any flight app for flight that you want. So all you do is go to your iPad or phone, it doesn't matter, whatever you're using. And when you have your Wi-Fi connections, you'll see something that says Sentry Mini or whatever number is going to be unprotected. You can put a password on it if you really want to, but it doesn't really matter. It would only help people. And you connect to it, and then you're connected to the. So then you go ahead and open up I haven't downloaded the apps or maps in a while, so on my phone, but yeah, and it would give you the traffic. If this was connected, if I put this up on the radio on the window, the GPS would go green, and then I would start getting traffic advisories of any aircraft that was around me right now. But because I'm indoors, you got 2 red lights, so that means neither are connected. But yeah, that's all there is to it. You stick this on the window, twist it, plug it in, and connect your device up to the Wi-Fi, and then once that's done, you'll have ADSB, and you'll get live real-time weather updates and GPS. So, like I said, as soon as you unplug it, the power goes off because there's no battery. There's no way to charge it. It comes in a little bag like this and a box, but the bag is really all you need. There's a little instruction manual. It's small, cheap, and if you can call $300 cheap, but it's cheaper than the other options, which is a benefit if you just start out with your flight training. You're swamped with all the fees and money that you need for everything, headset, everything, I get it. And if you're a student, you're not working, it's hard. And the one thing that or learn pretty quickly, that there's a tendency for everything to be having a redundancy. There's a redundant part to everything. Like there's too few pumps in case one breaks. So once you become a private pilot, and you got money and you're working, go ahead and spend the money and get the other one, and you've got 2 Sentries, and you can have one as a backup, But it is pretty good, because if you like today, my instructor was with me. I had this on. I said, go ahead and connect to it, and you both have increased awareness of what's going on around you because you have traffic advisories on your iPad, and it's a pretty nifty device. You don't need a carbon monoxide. We have one already. We're not going anywhere on long journeys, so we don't really need the $600 one, whatever. So the other thing that you're gonna need is a yoke mount, and I have to be honest, I saw another YouTuber using this particular mount, and it's a RAM mount, and this fits a 9 to 10 inch iPad with with a case, which is what I have, a iPad Air 2. So fit it in. Now the way I went about this is I went onto the website for RAM, and they have a tool that allows you to build the mount that's best for you. So if you don't know what iPad you have, you can look that up. If you don't know which size to get, then you tell it what you're wanting it for. I said Piper, and it had a different kind of mount for this, but I saw a guy from 03 Delta was using this kind of thing, and I do have to say this seems more sturdy than the one that was recommended. But I didn't buy this from the main website. I still got it from RAM Mounts. I just didn't get it directly from their website. I went on to Amazon and found the cradle and the mount separate, but I got them together, and didn't pay any shipping, and saved myself $40 on shipping, which is what they would have charged me on their website. So I try to be smarter about it. The prices for them for this is pretty much the same as what it is on their website, but because of Amazon Prime, you don't pay for shipping, so it was pretty much the same. So that is in a good little way. Most of the products you want to get, you can get them directly from the manufacturer or the people that make them, but get them from the Amazon, because Amazon Prime, you pay for the shipping already, so it's good. You just gotta be careful, because the only caveat with the Yoke Mount is that you've got to make sure that you can see the 6-pack behind the iPad and everything. When I had it up like this, when I first installed it, it blocked the heading indicator, which obviously you can't. That's not good. You got to be able to see where you're going. I had to turn it like this, and so when I do the full turn with the yoke in and out, I can see every single control. I had a little bit of difficulty seeing the tachometer, but I saw enough of it. I knew when I was, I can see it, and I could see the engine instruments and everything like that, engine oil, fuel pressure, and fuel tanks. Like, you got to make sure you can see everything that you need to see just to get this in the yoke. And do ask your flight instructor first if it's allowed with your school, because that's what I did first. I didn't really want to do it if it's not particularly allowed. The main reason why I wanted to get the yoke is because I'm only a small chappy, 5'6", and I have to sit kind of close to the yoke. And every time we were doing the turns the run-ups, doing the check, flight controls check and stuff, it's always hitting my knees. The iPad's getting in the way of my knee pad, and it's just a mess. Like, it discoordinates me. I always had to split my legs just to make sure the yoke can get around, because my iPad's attached to my knee board, and it's just annoying. So having this, I found today, was a real benefit. And the iPad was right there in front of me. I could write down my clearances. I can get the weather ATIS and stuff like that. I still have an e-board. I still have the paper stuff. So if my iPad takes a shit, I still have the airport diagram. I still have the paper checklist. I still have everything to write down. I made my own kneeboard pad, but yes, I did kind of follow the idea from Aviation 101, but I changed it a little bit, because I put the frequencies of the airport that I'm always flying at. Because you're in the stage 1, you're not going anywhere, you're just basically staying around the area, in the practice area, the field pattern area. You don't really need a whole lot of stuff to go places, so I tailored it to just sticking around the area. So it has all the runways, and it has the frequency runways. So if you want to use the ILS as a crutch to make sure you're level as you're doing the visual approach, you can do that. But it has everything that you need. All the frequencies at the top and stuff like that. But yeah, I still have everything paper. It's just that I prefer to have the iPad, in the center. But one, because I'm left-handed too, and I found myself to getting even more uncoordinated, because I want to let go of the yoke, because my left hand is controlling the yoke. My iPad's on my legs, and I want to use my left hand to write down the clearances with my finger. But with the yoke mount, the iPad's right there in front of me. I'm pushing on my finger, and it's pushing and holding the yoke at the same time. And it was really easy to do everything that I needed to. So with the Sentry, it was a nice bonus, but the Yoke Mount gave me a lot of freedom. It was great having it in the middle where I need it to be, and it's really good. Now, the only caveat that I found with iPads, the electronic flight bags, is if you're flying in the northern area of Pennsylvania or anywhere that is cold, you're not going to get this problem if you're flying down south in Florida. So 03 Delta, Lewis, and all them won't have this problem. They'll have a similar one, but it's just that the iPads don't like the cold. They hate it. It's the same with the heat, but it's the opposite. But if an iPad overheats, you get that warning sign that it's too hot and it shuts down. The opposite also happens. Like during the cold weather, that really cold snap, the February 22nd, all that nor'easter snowstorm in there, it took the battery from 100% down to 5% in under 10 minutes. So it's cold weather, cold wind, even inside of an airplane, really kills the battery. I got to the plane, I put my flight bag with the iPad inside of the plane, shut the door, did my pre-flight, walked around and everything like that, came in, tried to turn it on, and the battery was dead. It was turned off, it wasn't turned on. I had it charged because I always charge it overnight. I just did the pre-flight, came back, got in, put it on, and the iPad was dead. So it wasn't really practical, and that's again another reason why you still need to have the iPad and stuff, the paper stuff. It's not. That's why I'm saying these are not entirely essential, but they do make your life a hell of a lot easier, even in the early stage before you start doing the cross-country flight. At least for me, it's one less thing that I have to think about. And also, because if you're going to use the Sentry, having it in the middle is good, because if you're always looking down, the plane tends to go where you're looking. If you go down, the plane's going to go down. So if you have to look down to see where the air traffic is, just to glance, the plane is going to go down. So, it's good to have the iPad in front of you. So that being said, just to keep my stuff charged is the power ad, the Pilot 4GS. It's not the Pilot gear from Sporties. I didn't really love them. I don't know. When I saw these on Amazon, I like these a lot better. I'm thinking about getting another one of these to have as a spare. But this lasts a very long time. It certainly lasts more than what you're going to be at any regular flight lesson. Mine, like 2 hours, and then I spend 1.1 hops time in the plane flight. Or, it really, you're not spending a whole lot of time. This battery lasts about 8 hours or more. It's USB. This one was designed for iPad, so that's kind of why I got it, because it's a free cable with the connector for the iPad Air. And these cables, you get an Apple one, cost a huge bundle. It has 2 USB ports, and then you can turn this cable around and plug it in to charge it. I was currently using the actual iPad charger, because that's longer to charge the battery while it's charging the iPad, and it works pretty good. When you are in the field, like when I noticed my iPad getting down to like 5%, plugged it in, it was at 35% battery health within 15 minutes. The the SOP for flight school says that if you want to use these have to be at 100% power, at least 50% power, and you're gonna make sure you have a battery backup house also. That's why I have it. So without any one of these 3 items that I showed you, it kind of falls apart. But with them all together, it makes everything much more smoother, and it makes it much more manageable. It allowed me to focus today on my actual flying and doing the maneuvers that I needed to do without fussing too much about other minute details. Like worrying about, is my iPad going to run out of battery power because it's too cold today? It's now the first weekend of spring, so that's not going to be a problem anymore. But it's starting to get warm, so you got the opposite problem. But it's one less thing to think about, and it's a way to keep the cockpit manageable. Again, I can't stress that all of this is not essential. You can fly without them, but they do make training a lot easier. And I really wish I had this Sentry before, because knowing where planes are around me is a comfort to me. And that's going to be a personal minimum of mine. I am not going to fly anywhere without the Sentry. I just won't. Because one, it gives you the weather time, and it is still delayed, but it's better than what we have. And the real cool thing that I noticed is really small. That the iPad, like if you use the GPS of the iPad on its own, it does a track log, it does everything okay. But if you use the Sentry, the Mini or the regular, it fills in some of the information for you on your track log and the logbook itself. If you use the electronic logbook, it uses it quite well. It is these, like, I got back in today and I noticed that it put the name of the plane, the tail number on the plane and on the track log without me having to do it. And when I looked up on the demonstration, it's because when you have the transponder with sending ADS-B out and the ADS-B in, you got the hockey puck scenario, and it will, because you are sending out and sending back in, it will put the tail number of the plane and the information onto your on your flight book. And if you have a flight plan set up on your iPad and someone connects to that you can transfer that flight plan directly to them through the Sentry. It's got a lot of good benefits to it. I wouldn't say it's worth $500, but it's worth $300. That's why I got the Mini. I can live without it having a battery and the carbon monoxide. I mean, if there's a carbon monoxide, I just open up the Mini window. No, not quite, but you know what I mean. But yeah, so that's kind of a mini review. It was, there's really not much to record when you're just doing the basic. It was a flight review because it's been a couple of weeks since I've flown because of one thing or another, health issues. I got my stage check coming up for stage 1, and then hopefully got some solo stuff. Maybe I can build something there. But yeah, that's it. So that's the 3 product review that I wanted to do together, because on their own they don't do a lot, but together they're essential. Without one or the other, they don't really fit the purpose. You always get the feeling that there's a gap missing. But let's see. So, okay, I am going to end this here, and I shall see you next week. Oh yeah, I'm going to try and do a video once a week again. I may do a little bit more, like a little small video during the week, but at least do one video a week. So, give me a comment below, like, share, and describe anything that you want to see or don't see. Let me know if you like music or just the ATC audio. I get a lot of feedback both ways. Some hate it, some like music on the flight recordings. That's kind of the reason why I did two separate videos for my solo, one with just the ATC audio and one for music. When I did the minigun one, I put a little bit of music on because the plain audio, if you leave it naturally in, it will give most people a migraine or a headache. So I put a little bit of music in to balance that out so it doesn't give you a migraine while you listen to it. So yeah, that's it. So just let me know and we'll get there. Alright guys, I shall take you and see you later. Oh yeah, by the way, congrats to Gareth from 03 Delta getting his private pilot's license. His videos piss me off because he's so good, it makes me furious because his videos are so deceptive that he makes it look so easy. And, you know, it's just like... But yeah, he got his private pilot license. Yeah, I tell you, that must have been one very bored DBE exam. Because I doubt he would have done anything wrong. But alright, fair enough. Adios, amigos.